The massive ships appeared without warning above Earth's major cities. They were unlike anything humans had ever seen before. The vessels looked alive, with smooth curves and surfaces that seemed to breathe. Each ship was larger than a city, casting dark shadows over millions of people below. Admiral Kang Dae-ho stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, Earth's most advanced warship. He watched in horror as his entire fleet became powerless in seconds. The alien ships had done something to their engines and weapons. Every human spacecraft simply stopped working. "Sir, all systems are down," reported his communications officer. "We can't even send messages to other ships." Kang Dae-ho had fought in 3 wars and commanded fleets across the solar system. He had never felt so helpless. The alien technology was beyond anything Earth possessed. It was like comparing a stone axe to a laser rifle. On the planet below, Dr. Park Ji-woo was working in her laboratory when every screen and device suddenly showed the same image. A tall, pale creature with 4 arms and silver eyes appeared on every television, computer, and phone on Earth. The being spoke in perfect human languages. "Primitive species of the 3rd planet," the alien said. "I am High Commander Vexhai of the Valdari Empire. We have conquered 1,000 worlds across this galaxy. Your resistance is meaningless. Your technology is crude toys compared to our power." The creature's voice was cold and emotionless. "You have 72 of your rotations to surrender completely. Lay down your weapons. Submit to our rule. Become workers in our empire. This is your only choice if you wish to live." The broadcast continued. "Do not think your distance from our core worlds will save you. Do not believe your primitive weapons can harm us. We have destroyed species far more advanced than yours. They all thought they could fight us. They were wrong." Dr. Park Ji-woo felt sick as she listened. She was Earth's leading expert on alien life. For years, she had hoped that first contact would be peaceful. This was her worst nightmare coming. True, Captain Lee So-young was leading evacuations in Seoul when the broadcast ended. People were panicking in the streets. Some were crying. Others were angry. Many just stood still, unable to believe what they had heard. "All units, this is Captain Lee." She spoke into her radio. "Begin emergency evacuation procedures. Get civilians to the underground shelters. Move quickly but keep order." Lee So-young had trained for many disasters, but never this. How do you fight an enemy that can disable your entire fleet without firing a shot? How do you protect your people from beings who treat humans like insects? General Kim Tae-min was in the Global Defense Council meeting room within an hour. Leaders from every nation on Earth were there, either in person or through secure video links. Everyone looked scared and confused. "Options," General Kim said, simply. "I need to know what we can do." "Nothing," replied the Russian representative. "Our entire space fleet is disabled. Our weapons won't work. We have no choice but to surrender." "Surrender means slavery," said the African Union leader. "Did you hear what they said? We become workers in their empire. That's not life. That's just existence." Dr. Park Ji-woo had been studying the alien broadcast for hours. She discovered something that made her blood run cold. "I've analyzed their message," she said to the council through video link. "They mentioned conquering 1,000 worlds. I found references to many of those worlds in our deep space observations." She paused, her face pale. "Those star systems are all dead now. No signs of life, no radio signals, nothing. When the Valdari say they conquer worlds, they mean they destroy entire civilizations." The room fell silent. Everyone understood now. Surrender didn't mean slavery. It meant death, just death that came slowly. "Sir?" A young aide entered the room and whispered something to General Kim. The general's eyes widened. "Ladies and gentlemen," General Kim announced, "I've just received a message from our outer colonies. It says, the Shepherd Protocol is active. Humanity's true nature will be revealed." "What does that mean?" asked the European representative. "Don't know," General Kim admitted, "but I'm about to find out." Meanwhile, Admiral Kang Dae-ho was still trapped on his powerless ship when his communications officer suddenly shouted, "Sir, I'm getting a message on an emergency channel. It's coming from inside the ship." That's impossible, Kang Dae-ho said. All our systems are down. It's not using our regular systems, sir. It's coming through some kind of hidden network I've never seen before. The message was simple. Admiral Kang Dae-ho, report to Hangar Bay 7 immediately. Tell no one. Come alone. Kang Dae-ho had never heard of Hangar Bay 7. His ship only had 6 hangar bays. But when he checked the ship's layout on his personal tablet, there it was. A 7th hangar bay that wasn't on any official plans. When he arrived, he found a door that looked like part of the wall. It opened as he approached. Inside was a small room with equipment he didn't recognize. A hologram of an elderly man appeared. Admiral, the hologram said, I am Dr. Chen Wei-Ming. If you are seeing this message, it means the Valdari have found Earth. It means the Shepherd Protocol has begun. Kang Dae-ho stared at the hologram. Dr. Chen had died 20 years ago. He had been Earth's greatest scientist. What you are about to learn will change everything you believe about humanity. The hologram continued. For over 100 years we have been preparing for this day. The Valdari are not the first hostile aliens we have encountered. They are simply the first to find our homeworld. The hologram's expression grew serious. Admiral, your fleet is not really disabled. Your weapons are not really powerless. We allowed the Valdari to think they had defeated us. We wanted them to feel safe and confident. Dr. Chen's image smiled slightly. They demanded Earth's surrender. They are about to learn that humanity doesn't surrender. We fight. And when we fight to win completely. The message ended with coordinates and a simple instruction. Activate the real fleet. As Admiral Kang Dae-ho left the hidden room, he felt something he hadn't felt since the aliens arrived. Hope. The Valdari thought they were dealing with a primitive species. They were about to discover their mistake. On Earth below, the 72-hour countdown had begun. But humanity wasn't preparing to surrender. They were preparing to show the galaxy why no species had ever successfully conquered Earth. The Valdari had made their demand. Soon, they would learn humanity's answer. Dr. Yoon Minho had been waiting for this day for 30 years. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, his laboratory was hidden from every satellite and sensor on Earth. The facility was so secret that even most government leaders didn't know it existed. The alert had come 12 hours ago. The Shepherd Protocol was active. Now Dr. Yoon stood before the largest project of his life. Project Prometheus stretched out before him like an underground city. Hundreds of scientists and engineers worked at stations throughout the massive facility. Status report, Dr. Yoon called out. All weapons systems are online, replied his assistant. The quantum cannons are charged. The dimensional bombs are ready. The ghost ship fleet is prepared for launch. Dr. Yoon nodded. For decades, people had wondered why Earth spent so much money on Antarctic research stations. They thought it was about climate studies and ice samples. They were wrong. It was about preparing for war. Begin Phase 1 activation, Dr. Yoon ordered. Send the signal to all hidden facilities. Around the solar system, installations that had been disguised as research stations and mining platforms suddenly came alive. On Mars, what everyone thought was an archaeological dig site revealed massive weapon arrays. On Europa, ice mining operations opened to show battleship construction facilities. Commander Cho Hye-jin received the activation signal while floating in her command center inside an asteroid. For 20 years, she had lived here with her crew, maintaining the ships hidden inside the rock. To the outside world, this was just another mining operation in the asteroid belt. All ships, this is Commander Cho, she announced. The time has come. Begin emergence procedures. The asteroid began to split apart. It wasn't really an asteroid at all. It was a massive space station designed to look like a rock. Inside were 50 warships unlike anything the Valdari had ever seen. These weren't the ships that the aliens had disabled near Earth. Those were decoys, old vessels with visible weapons and standard designs. The real human fleet had been hidden, for generations waiting for this moment. Captain No Jae-sung was already in space, piloting the first of humanity's ghost ships. These vessels could phase between dimensions, becoming invisible to all sensors. The technology came from artifacts found in alien ruins on Mars 50 years ago. Ghost Fleet Alpha, this is Captain No, he said into his communicator. Begin stealth. Approach to Valkyrie positions. Remember, they cannot see us, but they can see our weapons fire. Make every shot count. The ghost ships moved through space like shadows. The Valkyrie bioships had sensors that could detect anything in normal space, but they couldn't see things that existed partially in other dimensions. On Earth's moon, engineer Bei Sunwoo was activating the Luna Array. For decades, everyone believed it was a deep space communication network. Radio telescopes and transmission equipment covered the moon's far side, hidden from Earth's view. Power levels at maximum, Bei Sunwoo reported to his team. The Luna Array is ready to fire. The truth was that the Luna Array was the most powerful weapon humanity had ever built. Each radio telescope was actually a focused energy cannon. Together, they could punch through any armor in known space. Back on Earth, Prime Minister Han Yu-jin stood before the Global Defense Council. The other leaders still looked scared and confused. They didn't know about the hidden preparations. Only a few people in each government had been told the truth. My fellow leaders, Prime Minister Han said calmly, I must share something with you now. Earth is not defenseless. We have not been idle these past decades. She activated a holographic display that showed the solar system. Red dots appeared throughout space, marking hidden installations and concealed fleets. For over 100 years, humanity has known that hostile aliens exist, she continued. We found evidence in ruins on Mars. We discovered abandoned weapons and technology. We learned that a great war was fought in this galaxy long ago. The display showed ancient battlefields and dead worlds that human deep space probes had found over the years. We also learned that Earth is strategically important. Our solar system sits at the junction of several major space lanes. Any empire that controls this region can control trade and movement across this part of the galaxy. Prime Minister Han's expression grew serious. We knew they would come eventually. We have been preparing. Dr. Park Ji-woo was working frantically in her laboratory, analyzing everything she could about the Valkyrie bioships. The aliens thought their organic technology was superior to human machines. They were about to learn that humans had been studying organic technology for decades. I found it, she announced to her team. The weakness in their bioships. All organic technology needs a nervous system to function. Cut the right nerves, and the entire ship becomes paralyzed. She had discovered this by examining alien artifacts found in the ruins on Mars. The ancient aliens who had fought the Valkyrie before had left detailed records of their enemies' weaknesses. Admiral Kang Dae-ho was now aboard a real human warship. The Horizon had been a decoy, designed to look impressive but hide humanity's true capabilities. His new ship, the Retribution, was built with technology that combined human engineering with alien artifacts. Admiral, his new weapons officer reported. All systems are fully operational. The Valkyrie jamming has no effect on our real technology. How many ships do we actually have? Admiral Kang asked. Including the Ghost Fleet, hidden platforms, and emergence vessels, we have over 3,000 combat-ready units, came the reply. The Valkyrie brought 200 ships to attack Earth. Admiral Kang smiled for the first time since the aliens arrived. They're outnumbered 15 to 1 and they don't even know it. Throughout the solar system, humanity's real military was coming online. Space stations that had posed as research facilities revealed massive weapons. Cargo ships opened up to show fighter squadrons. Mining platforms became missile bases. The Valkyrie had made a critical error. They had seen Earth's public military and assumed that was everything. They didn't know that humans were very good at hiding their true strength until the moment they needed it. Dr. Yoon Min-ho watched his displays as reports came in from across the solar system. Every hidden facility was online. Every secret weapon was ready. Every concealed ship was in position. Sir, his assistant said, we're receiving a message from the Valkyrie High Commander. They're demanding our surrender again. Dr. Yoon looked at the alien's image on his screen. The creature was still speaking in that cold, emotionless voice about humanity's primitiveness and Earth's inevitable defeat. Send a reply, Dr. Yoon ordered. Tell them that humanity has an answer for their demand. What message should I send, sir? Dr. Yoon smiled. Tell them they're about to see what happens when you threaten Earth. The countdown continued. The Valdari thought they had 50 hours left before they would have to destroy another primitive world. They had no idea that in less than 50 minutes, they would be fighting for their lives against an enemy they had completely underestimated. Humanity's hidden arsenal was ready. The real war was about to begin. The 72 hours were up. High Commander Vexhai of the Valdari Empire stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking down at the blue planet below. No surrender had come. The primitive humans had chosen death. Begin the cleansing, he ordered his crew. Release the terraform spores. Convert their atmosphere to something useful. The Valdari bioships opened their bellies. Billions of toxic spores poured out like green clouds, falling toward Earth's atmosphere. These spores would kill all human life within days, then transform the planet into something suitable for Valdari colonies. But as the first spores touched Earth's upper atmosphere, something impossible happened. They hit an invisible barrier and burst into flames. A planetary shield surrounded the entire world, burning away every spore before it could reach the surface. What is this? High Commander Vexahai demanded. Our sensors showed no such technology. Sir, his science officer reported, the energy readings are off our charts. They have shield generators hidden all across their planet, thousands of them. On Earth's surface, the shield generators that had been disguised as weather stations and communication towers were running at full power. For decades, humans had told the world they were studying climate change and improving internet connections. The truth was much different. Admiral Kang De-ho watched from the bridge of the Retribution as the alien spores burned harmlessly in Earth's atmosphere. Phase 1 complete, he announced to his fleet. The planet is protected. Begin Phase 2. Sir, his communications officer said, we're receiving a message from High Commander Vexhai. He wants to speak with you. The alien commander's image appeared on the main screen. His silver eyes were wide with surprise and growing anger. Impossible, Vexhai said. You are primitives. How do you possess shield technology? Admiral Kang smiled. We learned fast, and we've had a long time to prepare for you. Prepare? The alien's forearms gestured angrily. You could not have known we were coming. We've known about the Valdari for over a century, Admiral Kang replied calmly. We found your victims. We studied their remains. We learned about your methods, and we prepared. High Commander Vexhai's expression changed from anger to worry. You are bluffing. Your fleet is disabled. Your weapons are powerless. Are they? Admiral Kang asked. At that moment, Captain No Jae-sung's ghost ships materialized inside the Valdari formation. They appeared like shadows becoming solid, their weapons already firing. The first 3 bioships never knew what hit them. Holes appeared in their hulls as quantum torpedoes tore through organic armor like paper. Impossible, Vexhai screamed. Our sensors detect nothing. Your sensors can't see ships that exist partially in other dimensions, Admiral Kang explained. That's technology we learned from the last species you tried to conquer. They left very detailed records. The ghost ships continued their attack, appearing and disappearing throughout the Valdari fleet. Each time they materialized, more bioships took damage. The aliens tried to return fire, but they were shooting at targets that flickered in and out of existence. On the moon, engineer Bae Sun-woo was preparing the Luna array for its first shot. Target acquired, he reported. High Commander's flagship is locked on. Fire, came the order from Admiral Kang. The Luna array unleashed a beam of concentrated dark energy that Earth scientists had developed from alien artifacts. The beam crossed the distance between Moon and Earth in seconds, punching through the shields of Vexhai's flagship and burning a hole clean through the ship's center. Alarms screamed on the Valdari bridge as the ship's biosystems began to fail. Hull breach on decks 40 through 60, the alien crew reported. Bioneural network is damaged. Ship is dying. High Commander Vexhai stared at the hole in his ship in disbelief. What was that weapon? Dark energy cannon, Admiral Kang answered. Also something we learned from your previous victims. Amazing what you can build when you have 100 years to work on it. In the asteroid belt, Commander Cho Hee-jin's hidden fleet was emerging from their concealed positions. Her ships were designed specifically to fight biovessels. Their weapons fired concentrated acid that could eat through organic armor in seconds. All ships, open fire, Commander Cho ordered. Target the Valdari rearguard. The hidden fleet struck, the aliens from behind while they were focused on the ghost ships in front. Acid cannons melted through bioship hulls. Plasma torpedoes caused organic systems to cook from the inside. The Valdari rearguard was caught completely by surprise. Dr. Park Ji-woo was watching the battle from her laboratory while analyzing samples of Valdari bioship material that the ghost ships had collected. "I've found it," she announced. "The EE nervous system structure. All their ships have the same weakness." She transmitted the data to all human ships. "Target these specific nerve clusters. Cut them, and their entire ship becomes paralyzed." The human fleet immediately changed tactics. Instead of trying to destroy the bioships completely, they began making precise strikes at nerve centers. Valdari vessels began shutting down as their organic nervous systems were severed. High Commander Vex-High was trying to maintain order as his fleet fell apart around him. "All ships, retreat to defensive formation," he ordered. "Deploy countermeasures." But the Valdari countermeasures were designed to fight conventional enemies. They had no defense against ghost ships that could appear anywhere. They had no armor that could stop dark energy weapons. They had no way to protect nerve clusters that humans had studied for decades. "Sir," the Valdari science officer reported, "we've lost 40% of our fleet. Their weapons are specifically designed to counter our technology." Vex-High felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries of conquest: fear. "How is this possible? They are primitives. They should have crude nuclear weapons at best." "They have been preparing for us," the science officer said quietly. This was a trap. Admiral Kang Dae-ho was coordinating the human attack from his flagship. Reports were coming in from across the battlefield. The ghost ships were tearing apart the Valdari left flank. The Luna array was picking off capital ships one by one. Commander Cho's fleet was destroying everything in the rear. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "the enemy is trying to call for reinforcements." "Let them," Admiral Kang said. "We want them to call for help." Dr. Yoon Min-ho was monitoring the battle from his underground facility. Everything was going according to plan. The Valdari thought they were fighting Earth's entire military. They had no idea this was just the beginning. "Sir," his assistant said, "we're detecting faster-than-light signals from the Valdari fleet. They're calling their home systems." "Perfect," Dr. Yoon replied. "Begin Phase 3 preparations. It's time to show them what humanity really learned from those ruins on Mars." The battle was far from over, but the tone had changed completely. The Valdari had come to Earth expecting to crush primitive humans with overwhelming force. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that knew all their weaknesses and had spent generations preparing to exploit them. High Commander Vex-High watched another of his bioships die as a ghost ship materialized inside its hull and fired from within. His mighty fleet was being torn apart by humans who were supposed to be helpless. "Sir," his communications officer said, "the humans are broadcasting on all frequencies." Admiral Kang's voice filled every Valdari ship. "High Commander Vex-High, you demanded Earth surrender. This is our answer. We don't surrender, we fight. And when we fight to win completely." The first battle was ending, but both sides knew this was just the beginning. The Valdari reinforcements would come soon, and when they arrived, they would discover that humanity had been preparing for them too. The Valdari reinforcements arrived expecting to find their conquest fleet celebrating victory over another primitive world. Instead, they found wreckage floating in space and desperate distress signals from the few surviving ships. Admiral Yeltar commanded the reinforcement fleet of 500 bioships. He stared at the debris field where his advance force should have been victorious. "What happened here?" he demanded. High Commander Vex-High's damaged flagship limped toward the new arrivals. "The humans," he said through gritted teeth. "They were prepared. They have weapons that counter our technology perfectly." "Impossible," Admiral Yeltar replied. "They are primitives, Our intelligence reports showed crude spacecraft and simple weapons. Your intelligence was wrong, Vexhai said bitterly. They have been planning this for generations. Admiral Yeltar studied the tactical reports. The humans had used only about 300 ships to destroy most of the initial invasion fleet. But Earth had billions of inhabitants. Where was the rest of their military? He was about to find out. Major Lim Dong-hyun sat in a control center deep inside Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Around him, thousands of technicians monitored displays showing tiny dots moving through space. Each dot was an autonomous hunter-killer drone, no larger than a small fighter craft. Swarm protocol activated, Major Lim announced. Release all drones. Across the solar system, installations that had been disguised as research stations began opening like flowers. From Europa, Titan, Ceres, and 100 other locations, millions of small drones poured into space. The Valdari had built their military around the idea of large, powerful bioships that could overwhelm enemies through superior size and firepower. They had never faced an enemy that used swarm tactics. Each human drone was individually weak. A single bioship could destroy dozens of them, but there weren't dozens. There were millions. Admiral Yeltar's sensors began picking up the new contacts. At first it was just a few hundred small objects, then thousands, then tens of thousands. Sir, his science officer reported, we're detecting massive numbers of small craft approaching from all directions. Current count is over 2 million, and rising. 2 million? Yeltar stared at the display. That's impossible. No species can build that many ships. They're not ships, sir. They appear to be automated weapons platforms. Each one has artificial intelligence systems that allow independent operation. The first wave of drones reached the Valdari fleet. They were fast and agile, darting between the massive bioships like angry insects. Their weapons were small but precise, targeting the nerve clusters that Dr. Park Ji-woo had identified. The Valdari opened fire with their biocannons, destroying drones by the hundreds. But for every drone they killed, 10 more took its place. The humans had built their swarm doctrine on acceptable losses. They could afford to lose 90% of their drones and still overwhelm the enemy. Captain Lee So-young was leading a different kind of attack. Her evacuation transports had been moving civilians to safety, but they were also carrying something else. Elite Earth Rangers, equipped with powered armor. Remember, she told her teams as their transport approached. A Valdari bioship, these ships are alive. Find the brain centers and capture them. We need prisoners and intelligence. The transport looked like a helpless civilian vessel sending out distress signals. When the bioship opened its docking bay to capture what they thought were refugees, Captain Lee's Rangers poured out instead. The powered armor they wore was based on technology found in the alien ruins on Mars. It gave them strength equal to the Valdari warriors and weapons that could cut through organic armor. The Rangers moved through the bioship's corridors like shadows, mapping the organic layout and searching for control centers. They had studied Valdari ship designs for years. They knew exactly where to go. This is Ranger Team Alpha, Captain Lee reported as her team reached the ship's brain center. Target secured. Beginning intelligence extraction. Dr. Yoon Min-ho was monitoring the battle from his Antarctic facility while preparing humanity's next surprise. The Valdari thought they were fighting all of Earth's military. They had no idea about the real secret. Sir, his assistant reported, the swarm protocol is working perfectly. Enemy fleet effectiveness has dropped by 60% due to drone harassment. Excellent, Dr. Yoon replied. Begin Phase 4 preparations. It's time to reveal our true advantage. The secret wasn't just advanced weapons or hidden fleets. The real secret was that humanity had mastered faster-than-light travel in ways the Valdari had never imagined. Captain No Jae-sung received new orders while his ghost ships continued their attacks. All ghost ships, prepare for deep strike operations. We're taking the war to their home systems. Sir, his navigator asked, how do we know where their home systems are? Captain No smiled. We've known for 50 years. Remember those ruins on Mars? The aliens who built them mapped the entire Valdari Empire before they died. The ghost ships began disappearing from the battlefield around Earth. But they weren't retreating. They were using dimensional phase technology to travel instantly across the galaxy. Admiral Yeltar was trying to maintain order as his fleet was swarmed by millions of tiny attackers. His bioships were designed to fight other large vessels, not clouds of small drones that could dart between their defenses. "Sir," his communications officer reported, "we're losing contact with ships throughout the fleet. The small craft are somehow jamming our bioneural networks." The human drones weren't just attacking. Each one carried electronic warfare equipment designed specifically to disrupt organic nervous systems. They were giving the bioships the equivalent of massive headaches that made coordination impossible. Commander Cho Hyejin's fleet had moved into position around the Valdari rear guard. Her ships carried weapons that the aliens had never seen before, planet crackers originally designed for asteroid mining. "All ships target enemy supply vessels," she ordered. "Cut off their ability to repair and rearm." The planet crackers fired massive drilling beams that could break apart asteroids. When focused on bioships, they caused catastrophic structural damage that the organic hulls couldn't heal from. Dr. Park Ji-woo was analyzing data from the captured Valdari vessels when she made a shocking discovery. "Admiral Kang," she called through the communication system, "I need to speak with you immediately." "What is it, Doctor?" "The Valdari," she said, her voice shaking. "They're not what we thought. I've been examining their biology from the samples our rangers collected." She transmitted her findings to Admiral Kang's ship. "Look at this. The crew members we captured aren't actually Valdari. They're hosts. There are parasitic organisms controlling their nervous systems." Admiral Kang studied the medical scans. "You're saying the Valdari Empire is run by parasites?" "Exactly. The species we've been fighting are victims just like we would have been. The real Valdari are small parasitic creatures that take over other beings and use their bodies. This changed everything. The humans weren't just fighting for Earth survival. They were fighting to free an entire galaxy from parasitic control." Major, Lim Dong-hyun received new targeting instructions for his drone swarms. "All drones, adjust mission parameters. We're not trying to kill the enemy crews anymore, we're trying to free them." The drones began using different weapons, ones designed to stun rather than kill. Their goal became removing the parasites without harming the host beings. Admiral Yeltar felt something strange happening in his own mind. The human electronic warfare was disrupting not just his ship's systems, but the parasites that controlled his thoughts. For the first time in decades, he remembered who he had been before the Valdari took control. The battle was becoming something unprecedented in galactic history. Instead of one species trying to conquer another, it was becoming a liberation war. Humanity wasn't just defending Earth. They were freeing the slaves of the Valdari Empire. Captain No Jae-sung's ghost ships were already attacking Valdari installations thousands of light years away. The parasites had never faced an enemy that could strike at multiple star systems simultaneously. "Sir," Captain No's communications officer reported, "we're receiving messages from freed host species on 17 different worlds. They're asking for our help." The war was spreading across the galaxy, but it was spreading as liberation, not conquest. Humanity had answered the Valdari demand for surrender with something the parasites had never faced before, a species that fought not just for themselves, but for everyone. The galaxy was burning, but it was burning with the fire of freedom. Across 1,000 star systems, the news spread like wildfire. The humans had come, and they were freeing everyone. General Kim Tae-min stood in the war room beneath Seoul, coordinating the largest military operation in human history. Operation Nemesis was no longer just about defending Earth. It had become a crusade to liberate every world under Valdari control. "Status report," General Kim demanded. "Sir," Colonel Seo Min-jun replied, "our ghost ships have struck Valdari installations in 47 systems. The dimensional phase technology is working perfectly. We can hit any target in the galaxy within hours." The Valdari had built their empire assuming that distance was protection. Their worlds were spread across thousands of light years, connected by slow bioships that took months to travel between systems. They had never imagined an enemy that could appear anywhere instantly. What about resistance? General Kim asked. Minimal, sir. The host species are joining us as soon as we free them from the parasites. We're not conquering these worlds. We're liberating them. Colonel Seo Min-jun had led the assault on the Valdari Central Command world of Kethmore. His task force of ghost ships had appeared without warning in the system's heart, bypassing all defenses by phasing through dimensions. The battle for Kethmore lasted only 6 hours. The Valdari had built massive biofortresses around the planet, but they were designed to stop conventional attacks. Ghost ships materialized inside the fortresses and destroyed them from within. This is Colonel Seo to all liberation forces. He broadcast as his Marines secured the planet's parasite breeding facilities. Kethmore is free. We have captured the Central Command Network. The network contained information that made Colonel Seo sick to his stomach. The Valdari Empire wasn't just 12 species. It was hundreds of species, all enslaved by the parasites. Over thousands of years, Captain No Jae-sung was leading raids deep into Valdari territory when he made a discovery that changed everything. On a dead world called Velthara, he found the ruins of an ancient civilization. Sir, his science officer reported, these ruins are identical to the ones we found on Mars. This species fought the Valdari too. Captain No studied the alien writings that his team translated. The story was tragic but familiar. The Velthara had been a peaceful species until the Valdari arrived. They had fought bravely but been overwhelmed by superior numbers. Look at this, his science officer said, pointing to a wall covered in symbols. They left us a message. They knew someone would come after them. The message was simple. To those who follow, we leave you our knowledge. The Valdari fear only one thing, losing their hosts. They cannot survive without bodies to control. Find their source world, destroy the queen parasite, free the galaxy. The Velthara had discovered something crucial before they died. The Valdari weren't just random parasites. They had a central command structure, a queen that controlled all the others. Kill the queen, and the entire empire would collapse. Dr. Park Ji-woo was working frantically to analyze the biological samples that the liberation forces had collected from dozens of worlds. Each host species was different, but the parasites were all the same. They're linked, she announced to the research team. Every parasite in the galaxy is connected to a central nervous system. There's a queen somewhere that controls them all. She had found the weakness that the Velthara had discovered. The Valdari Empire wasn't really an empire at all. It was one massive organism spread across the galaxy with the queen as its brain. If we can find and destroy the queen, Dr. Park continued, every parasite in the galaxy will die instantly. All the host species will be free. Admiral Kang Dae-ho received the news while coordinating the liberation of the Tauric system. The elephant-like Tauric had been enslaved for 300 years, forced to build bioships for the Valdari fleet. Dr. Park, Admiral Kang said through the communication link. Where is this queen located? I don't know yet, she admitted, but I'm analyzing the neural patterns from every parasite we've captured. The connection signals all point toward one region of space. Commander Cho Hye-jin was having her own success in the outer rim systems. Her fleet had discovered something the Valdari had tried to hide. Prison worlds where they kept host species that had proven too rebellious to control. Admiral Kang, she reported, you need to see this. We've found worlds full of beings who resisted the parasites. They've been imprisoned for centuries, but they're still alive. One of these prisoners was Cax-2, a warrior from the Mordak species, that had fought the Valdari for 50 years before being defeated. When Commander Cho's Marines freed him, his first words were a warning. Humans, Cax-2 said in broken universal language. You fight well. But the queen waits. She has defenses. You cannot imagine. Cax-2 explained that the queen lived on a world that existed partially outside normal space. It was protected by bioships that could regenerate instantly and parasites that could control matter at the molecular level. Many species tried to reach queen, Cax-2 continued. All failed. Queen too strong, too well protected. But Cax-2 didn't know about human technology. He didn't know about dimensional phase drives or quantum weapons. He didn't know that humans had spent a century studying Valdari weaknesses. Captain Lee So-young was leading special operations to capture more Valdari command centers when she discovered the location of the Queen's world. In a heavily defended biofortress, her rangers found star charts that showed a region of space marked with symbols meaning forbidden and sacred. "Admiral," she reported, "I think we found it. There's a system on these charts that every Valdari installation points toward. It's treated like their holy site." The coordinates led to a region of space that human sensors had never been able to penetrate. It was surrounded by some kind of dimensional barrier that made it invisible to normal detection methods. Dr. Yoon Min Ho was already working on the problem. "If the Queen's world exists partially outside normal space," he said to his research team, "then we need ships that can exist partially outside normal space to reach it." "You mean the ghost ships?" his assistant asked. "No," Dr. Yoon replied with a smile. "I mean all of our ships. It's time to upgrade the entire human fleet with dimensional phase technology." Major Lim Dong-hyun received orders to modify his drone, swarms for the final assault. "We're going to need millions of drones that can phase between dimensions," he told his technicians. "The Queen's defenses won't work against enemies they can't touch." The liberated species were volunteering to help with the final assault. The Taurik offered their engineering skills. The Mordak provided warriors eager for revenge. The Zilnathi contributed their knowledge of bioship weaknesses. General Kim Tai-min was coordinating the largest military alliance in galactic history. Hundreds of species that had been enslaved for generations were now working together to destroy their oppressor. "Sir," Colonel Seo reported, "the Liberation Fleet is ready. We have ghost ships from 50 systems, freed bioships that we've converted to our cause, and volunteer forces from 200 different species." The Valdari had created their empire by dividing and conquering individual species. They had never faced a united galaxy fighting back. "Begin the final phase," General Kim ordered. "Find the Queen's world. End this war." Captain No Jae-sung led the scouting mission into the forbidden region of space. His ghost ship phased through the dimensional barrier that had hidden the Queen's world for millennia. What he found on the other side made him gasp. The Queen's world wasn't just a planet. It was a massive bioconstruct the size of a star, pulsing, with organic energy and covered in defenses that defied physics. "Admiral Kang," he reported, "I've found the target. But sir, this isn't going to be easy. The Queen has built herself a fortress that could destroy entire fleets." Admiral Kang studied the reconnaissance data. The Queen's world was protected by bioships that could regenerate from any damage and weapons that could manipulate space-time itself. "It doesn't matter," Admiral Kang said quietly. "We've come too far to stop now. The galaxy is counting on us." The final battle was approaching. Humanity and their liberated allies were about to face the source of all the galaxy's suffering. The Queen had ruled for thousands of years, controlling billions of beings across countless worlds. But she had never faced humans before. She was about to learn why Earth had never been conquered.